Hey JoJo, which of these is better? Good morning, gamers! Hello! JP did it again, friends. They did it again. Just when we thought 5.2 was on lock and the top speed runs and parse runs were settling in, Japan hits us with multiple new speed kills across every fight and kicks a lot of teams out of the top 10 and a lot of parsers out of the top 10. Including me. Shit. But going through the logs for their speed kills was no surprise. Both INHAMEZ and Sylink's optimization in Edenverse were almost untouched. And as a ninja main, one of the main things that stood out to me was their Doton usage. We had already seen a few JP groups using Doton during the duo phase for E6S, but nothing close to how INHAMEZ and Sylink were using theirs. So I wanted to dig a bit deeper and see why both of these JP groups were using Doton so much and how they were using them throughout the fight. Now before my T group starts giving me crap about not even getting my pre-pull Dotons out on time, nonetheless an extra 3 Dotons out throughout the fight, I just want to say, you're not wrong. And I miss you guys.
Wait a second.
No.
No.
For today, I'll be using E6S as an example because it's one of the more popular speedrun fights. And compared to E5, since they both have a skip that you can shoot for, E6 is one of the easier fights to skip in terms of speedruns. So if you look at the logs for both INHAMEZ and Sylink, you can see their ninjas using 3 Dotons throughout the fight, not including the pre-pull Doton that ninjas would usually cast. INHAMEZ ninja uses one right before the knockback and Garuda phase, one during the soccer balls and Ifrit phase, and one right at the start of duo phase. Whereas Sylink's ninja uses one Doton before the knockback and Garuda phase, one at the start of duo phase, and one right before Rock to Pasca is targetable. And anyone who can recall learning ninja after 5.1 or later probably remembers being told to never Doton after the pre-pull Doton because Raiton was better for single target fights. Or at least that's what I was told when I was learning ninja. I don't know what happened before 5.1 because I was too busy playing WoW. So while the Doton during duo phase somewhat makes sense because you can get a few ticks on both bosses before one of them becomes invulnerable, the remaining 2 spots where a Doton is used instead of a Raiton take a little bit of looking into. To preface, for anyone who may not be familiar, ninjas would ideally land 2 Raitons under every trick attack window. And any other ninjutsus that they're using in combat are either to prep trick attack with a Suiton or after using Kasatsu using Hyosho. And since prepping trick attack with Suiton is pretty much mandatory because of how Hide works, and Hyosho is ninja's highest potency ability, the only real flexibility that ninjas have is Raiton. So to gain extra Dotons throughout a fight, a ninja will have to start replacing Raitons with a Doton. So comparing Doton and Raiton. Doton has a potency of 100 every 3 seconds for 24 seconds of its duration, plus an extra tick as soon as it lands, resulting in 9 total ticks of 100 potency, which comes out to 900 total potency on one target if you can land all 9 ticks. And Raiton is just a flat 800 potency cast. So on the surface, 900 potency sounds like the obvious answer over 800 potency. But you need to take into consideration a couple of things before you just start Dotoning all over the place. 1, Doton takes one more Mudra to cast, which adds an extra half second between your global cooldown. And if you have bad ping and you're clipping, or if a phase is really tight with trying to get a global in before the boss jumps, like Garuda or Ifrit, this may not be something that is feasible by adding an extra half second into your phase rotation. 2, Doton remains in a static position. So if the boss is moving around a lot or the boss has to be dragged out for a mechanic, every 3 seconds that the boss is not in that Doton is a loss of 100 potency. Or if the boss is not in the initial landing of Doton, you're going to lose 2 ticks plus 1 tick for every 3 seconds that the boss is not in your Doton. An example would be a pre-pull Doton or a Doton that you're putting out right before Rock to Pasca comes down or something. And lastly, one of the most most important points, number 3, for a ninja who is very well optimized, they will be swapping a Raiton for a Doton and moving that Raiton out of trick attack like I was talking about earlier. So in reality, instead of that Raiton having 800 potency, it's actually 840 potency, which is still less than the 900 base potency of Doton, but it's something to consider if you're going to lose 1 or 2 ticks from your Doton. So 900 potency over 24 seconds versus 840 potency over 1 to 1.5 seconds, or however long it takes to cast a Raiton. But remember, we're moving a Raiton out of our trick attack window for a Doton. So if we could hypothetically get that Doton to tick during the full 15 seconds of that trick attack, we're actually looking at a Doton potency of 925 if we can get all 5 ticks to land under trick attack. Or 920 potency if we're only able to land 4 ticks because of how the tick timings worked out. And this is actually one of the reasons why INHAMEZ Ninja Darvish slightly outplayed Sylink's Ninja. Because if you look at INHAME's analysis timeline and you look at the first Doton that they're using during Garuda phase, they actually cast a Doton during their downtime before their next trick window, which also makes their Doton catch the full duration of trick attack, resulting in the 920 to 925 potency that we talked about earlier. As compared to Sylink's Ninja, who casted their Doton towards the end of their trick attack window, who only got about 915 potency, because we have to remember that the initial landing of Doton gives you the free 2 ticks. And the next Doton that both ninjas for INHAMEZ and Sylink share is the Doton during duo phase, which is a huge potency gain over a Raiton, because not only are there 2 bosses and they can snag an extra 2 ticks on the opposite boss, but there is also a trick attack window here that lines up with divination and other 2-minute raid buffs. And if played properly, assuming RDPS just from trick attack, this Doton during duo phase ends up netting you about 280 potency. As for the remaining differences in Doton timing that both of these ninjas have, unless I'm completely missing something, INHAMEZ Ninja outplayed Sylink's Ninja because he was able to snag an extra 3 to 4 ticks of Doton, or 3 to 400 potency, from casting Doton during Ifrit phase instead of trying to pre-cast it for Rakta Pascha phase, which ended up setting Sylink's Ninja behind the 3 to 4 ticks of Doton, or 3 to 400 potency. So obviously both of these speed groups are amazing and super well optimized, and both Darvish and Killen, I probably messed that up really bad. Both of these ninjas are amazing players, and it just goes to show that JP is always one step ahead of the rest of the world when it comes to optimization. And looking more closely at some of their other things in XIV analysis, they actually play the fight both a little bit different. So why did I make this video? Why do I care? Why should you care? I always like to answer these kind of questions for you guys. The honest answer is I kind of made this video to make myself look more into this Doton usage instead of just saying, oh, well, that's what JP does, which 99% of the time is a totally justifiable excuse. But making a video like this makes me actually have to understand why these players are doing the things that they're doing, and it grants me the ability to validate my actions. And of course, while it's great information for me to know, it's also a great thing to be able to share with other ninjas who are already optimized and starting to do speed runs. Because honestly, I feel like there isn't really much help out there besides just reading logs. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I was able to present you with some information that you may not have known before. And I also hope it helps you look into other things that may not be the norm for your class. Because I'm guilty as well, looking through log and going, oh, well, why is that guy doing that? That doesn't make any sense. But I think I said it before in one of my previous videos, being able to kind of take a step back and just think about the situation and actually analyze the situation is a really important tool that you have at your disposal. So as always, if you ever want to talk about this video, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or Discord, or if you ever just need someone to talk to, I would be more than happy to talk to you. If there's anything you would like to see me cover in future videos, or if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with JoJo and me, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye!